I've been feeling just a little bit low. Got to get back to the show and we'll fly. Yeah. You don't have to feel like you're on your own. No one should have to dance alone, not tonight. For somebody to make memories in the bank forever in time. There's no reason to be hard to find, 'cause we've already lost our mind. You and me, we're gonna write a little history. You and me, just show me love and then you'll see. We make, they are never gonna fade for a lifetime. We don't give no shit if you wanna ride away. We just out here trying to play second drills up in the memory bank.
M-Rack. Good evening everyone on the Asia server, and we are back with the professional tournament round 10 and 11. So finally, after a break yesterday, which I had to miss yesterday's stream because I have in reality plans to do. I have something that I have to do in reality, so I can't stream yesterday. But now we're back. So don't worry about this. This is the professional tournament format, and I'm not going to talk too much about this. Potentially, I will talk more about tiebreaker tomorrow, 2 days after, when we are almost finished with the professional tournament and the top 4 becomes clearer. Here we go, round 10. We have these maps: Fort Despair, Winter, Malinovka, Faust, and Hellas. Round 11, we have Naval Frontier, Alpenstadt, New Bay, and Canal. This is the timeline, and we are currently on the third last day of the professional tournament, so we are almost there. We are almost there. And after that, the Blitz Cup, we will be seeing matches days from on every Thursday and Friday. The first game will commence shortly, and the second game will be at 8:03 in Hong Kong time, or GMT +8. This is Feast lineup. We have Bifrost as the captain of the team, but there is a typo there. It's it's a single S, not a double S. Z-Park, Necromancer, Suge Mugus. Jahi has changed his name to Spartan, if I remember correctly. Silver, James, Sly has changed his name to Josie. Now also Kikumimi and Smirk Potato, which I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about Sly and Kikumimi, or maybe I mixed both of them up. HLV is going to be the clan that we are following tonight, and we have yet to follow HLV actually. So HLV will be going for 7010 as the captain of the team. We also have My Aim No Sense, Sorte, Koyu, Lap Behind, and Joy Suluku from Abyss, Rush, Nifny, and also Sarutsu. Finally, we have Ho, which is another clan we haven't followed so far. Momokolov, Arrive, Minuts, very painful, obviously. Iga, Furuchan, Nyx, Heroize, Bird in this tag, Clover, and Happy. Just going to load the game. Well, we still have a lot of time. We can play some matches here. And Mabox has predicted the following: Feast to lose to E724, Ho to lose to HLV24, ID to win against EA43, and RN to win against GB42. I think this is the result that I will be expecting tonight. Although Feast can beat E7 after E7 lost to ID04, ending their perfect record in the tournament so far. All Asia, EU, and NA servers would not see a team retaining a perfect record in the professionals tournament. So I'm not sure about CIS. I haven't checked CIS yet, but as of now, no team has won all of their games, and at least one team, one clan has lost one game already. So now this is going to be interesting. I think Asia server is it's onto a slow start. I think things could heat up very soon. HLV really looking for that top 4 spot. And ID, despite winning E7 convincingly 4-0, also lost to Beast 0-4. So they're not safe in the top 4 yet. And HLV with more match wins definitely will be feeling that they have a chance in the top 4. Below we have GV, which is also looking to secure a spot in the top 4. But they are in need of winning some matches, which they haven't been able to do so. EA have won a lot of matches so far. They have won the most number of matches in the bottom 3, and they really would like to pick up a point tonight. And Ho has picked up another important point yesterday, beating shockingly, surprisingly, RN43. So will Ho finally find their mojo in the professional tournament? and do really well in the remaining few days. I think whatever result they're going to have, they should be very proud of what they have achieved in the professional tournament here, being the newest clan to enter the top 8. I mean, lots of inexperience. We can see lots of inexperience here, whether it's by nerves or maybe by reactions and something like that, who pretty much played themselves proud, and there's not much to really talk about, to be honest. They've done all they could to legislate a good run in the professionals tournament. And I'll log into the Asia server account, and we should have some time. We'll play one match while we wait. And tonight, you know, those spaces highlighted in blue will be the matches we will be seeing tonight. Not will be seeing tonight. We will be knowing tonight the results, and this will have a huge implication to what's going to happen in the last 3 games. And we will probably talk about this after the second game. And we'll play some ST1 then, while we wait. And for those of you, I'll have some grapes while we wait. Oh, Laos. Hello. This will be an epic fight. I have to admit that I think I could get shot while crossing because I'm so slow. Or maybe not. DD asks, what is this result? I'm not sure what you mean by that. It's a prediction. Remember, Mapbox is just a prediction bot, so see if I can land it. Yep. Got to bounce. Oh no. Oh dear, the pain is a bit bad, but let's see. Oh, no get shot by 700, oh brother. Oh no, I'm gonna die. Oops. I think the room is up, so we go in there, we just go out of this fight. Oh, let's not watch that. Here we are. I can't join the room because I'm using a tank that is still in the battle. So let me pick a tank that is in the garage. So we should be able to go in. Here we go. Fort Despair, Ho versus HLV. As I always say, Fort Despair is relative. It's a heavy dependent map, so you will see a lot of heavies. Mediums or lights are not going to receive a lot of appearance here. Basically, the map is a bit too small, so that heavies can do the same spotting job as the mediums or lights, and they can rotate without spending too much time on that. I think previously yesterday we saw Jones potentially. They are doing a boost strat with the Badger, so we could see the same happening tonight. We'll find out if HLV or Ho capture that and do the Badger push, or something like that. I suddenly forgot the word. Badger boost. Let's see if they're going to do a Badger boost. I'm not sure if there is we saw it Fort Despair yesterday. I remember we didn't. So interesting. Let's see. Ho going with a triple IS7, a WZ13, a 50B, a Kron, and a Mavs. HLV going for triple IS7, double 50B, a Kron, and potentially a U100. We will see a live stream of Asia server. I'm not sure what you're talking about. We are seeing the live stream of the Asia server. I'm not sure what you're trying to convey here. So 2 more minutes to go. And Joyce Q is still packing his tank. We'll go in. Let's see what's going to happen. I do have to do the bone once again, which is not good. Alright, so Fort Despair, with these tanks, and Joyce Luke is still not ready yet. Will we see HLV changing tanks? Oh, and Joyce Luke is ready in the mouse, and Terutsu might change his tank. Oh, back in the Crown Bargain, that's good. So, both teams have finalized their setup, or maybe not. Furu-chan, oh, finalized. Both teams have finalized their setup, and I don't think we're going to be seeing changes here unless, once again, there is someone getting not ready here, and they can still change their tanks, but they don't want to do it now, because we only have around 15 seconds to go. They don't want to make last minute changes, or maybe last second changes. That could be potentially catastrophic, because you might actually not be ready and have your team fielding 6 players only. Let's see here what the both teams going to do. Ho red team from the north side with HLV blue team from the south side. We're going to see Ho committing their forces near A, with HLV blue team committing some of their forces near C. So we could see both teams fighting for the cap lead at the early stages with HLV going to C already. Oh, they are not. They're actually going to make a push potentially onto Hero Rise. Hero Rise actually quite isolated, so potentially HLV will be able to shut her Hero Rise down, receiving a hit from Rush. But Koyu with a terrible miss right here. Rush looking to get another shot into Hero Rise now. He will need that, and that was a great shot there from the backside. I'm not sure if that was an XG shell or maybe just a high roll of the AP. Obviously, I would use the XG shell because IS7 XG shell is actually really good in terms of alpha. Ho looking to get B, but XLV already looking to get a push in, and Furu-chan is potentially getting rushed by Saruta and Boa Sorte, and Furu-chan could be taken out very quickly. B will be captured by Ho, but I think this is their original strat. Try to look at C and try to get B at the very start, but it seems HLV has thrown their plans out of the way. Now Ho needs to make a push on the other side. Furu-chan now down. They're making a push onto Rush, and Rush might be in some sort of trouble. Ho is trying their best to salvage the situation here. They've lost Furu-chan already. Hero Rise is quite low. HLV is leading in terms of hit points, but they could lose Rush at any moment soon. Minot's going to kill off Rush, and they're looking for Koyu next with Iga. Also, they're near the middle side. HLV, they're looking strong. They have a lot more hit points, and Ho trying their absolute best in getting the tanks of HLV out. They're really trying hard. But HLV simply, that push came out of nowhere and surprised Ho's considerably. And now we are seeing Koyu looking to get Bird in this tank. But the Bird in this tank could be eliminated, so we will see HLV looking for different targets. Momoko Love is now killed, and Minot could be the next tank down, or maybe it's a Bird in this tank, but it's not going to be important which tank. HLV would like to focus now, because HLV has a strong lead in hit points and the number of guns. So all HLV needs to do is to take the guns out, and they should be able to win. And Hero is trying to run away, trying to have this battle last for a bit longer. And Hero would not be able to kill off and Joyce will kill, and this is going to be, I forgot to change the overlay, HLV with a win. Well done. No, you will not get an action next here. I don't think there is an Australian team here, but Ho, I think they were caught off guard. They really didn't know what to do when HLV makes a huge push at the beginning. That reminds me of being an experienced team. You prepare for that strategy a lot, but then for some reason the enemy team just did something that you've never ever imagined and predicted, and this is kind of the situation we are seeing here. Ho pretty much panicked when HLV made a huge push onto the 50B, and they were a bit slow to react, and they didn't really know how to respond to the situation. And in the end, they tried their best to kill some of the HLV's tanks out, but already HLV was able to get quite a lot of targets out of the match already, and now this is going to be 1-0 to HLV. Well done to HLV. And Ho, now we're going to be seeing triple and 1-3s by Iga, Arrive, and Minot. Triple IS7 by Bird, Hero Rise, and Furu-chan with Momoko in the M60. HLV, on the other hand, we're seeing double IS7 by Boa Sorte and Rush, with double 1-3s by Koei and Livni, double M60s by 7010 and Sarutsu with Enjoy Q in the max. And we go back to Fort Despair now. There are Australian players competing in this tournament, but we don't have an Australian team. Let's follow Momoko here. This time, staying same as last time. No team is taking any mediums or lights, and Momoko will be going into this hold down position to spot up tanks and trying to make it difficult for HLV to work in this area. But Momoko missed that shell onto Boa Sorte and bounced that shell into Boa Sorte as well. But that's a great shot into Boa Sorte. And now ARWV taking some hits here. But Ho is trying to get a big push down this area, looking to get these 4 tanks out. But will HLV show what they're capable of in dealing with this situation when Ho is trying to make a huge push there, but Ho's push has stopped here, and they're trying to use the speeding as a shield, try and get tanks out of the way. Boa Sorte is trying to hide behind Rush here. That's a great call by Rush, and Boa Sorte is going to go down. Hit point still in favor of HLV, but this is going to be really close. Ho, this kind of move can work really well, or it could falter. And HLV now with Livni dead under the hands of Ho. It's now going to be 6 versus 4. All Ho needs to do is to get the focus fire in with Koyu now dead. It's now 6 versus 3, and this is looking like to be HLV's win. And Ho with Furuchan now down to 1 shot will be killed by Sarutsu. Ho, that gamble worked really well, and HLV isn't able to cope with this pressure, and it seems that HLV I think was a little bit slow in the middle, trying to respond to Ho's push with Sarutsu now dead. Hero is going to go down to HLV2, and it's the case when Joysuke Ram kills Hero, and now everyone knows the last person standing potentially. Or maybe it's Joysuke here. Let's see which tank's going to go down first. It's going to be Joysuke, but Samuelson will follow quite soon after. And here we go. Ho, we are seeing 4 tanks doing more than 2k and HLV. 4 tanks doing more than 2k as well. But Ho, that gamble worked really well for them, but HLV wasn't able to respond immediately to that. Now we're going back to Wintermine Novka, and I'm just going to wait for a moment. Let me just fix my hair a bit. It's just a bit getting in my way. Be back in a moment. Okay, we're back. So, we are now on to Wintermine Novka. We are seeing Ho going to take. Let me double check if I actually updated this call on, which I haven't, and I'm going to update it now. So Ho is going to take double IS7, triple M60, a VK90.01P, and a 113. On the other hand, HLV going for triple IS7, a Crown, double M60, and a mouse. And let's see, with HLV going mostly to A, and Ho going a bit to B and C, and seems that Rush is trying to get this area. We do see that from time to time, like previously we do see EU teams taking this area in about 2 to 3 held down tanks, looking to secure the C area. It could A area, and it could go into a full-on brawl. But times have changed, and HLV aren't seeing anyone near there. But 771 though has taken a hit from Ho, with C being captured by Ho as well. Furutan took a hit, but Rush, and that's IS7. All bounces Hero Rise here, and Rush all bounces onto Hero Rise as well. But Furutan is getting smacked a little bit. Well, supposedly he should be able to make use of the building, but he's getting protract potentially now. Or maybe not. Has to be really careful not to drop unnecessary hit points, because we are now seeing HLB with more than 1,000 hit points of advantage, and Ho, they do not have the hit point pool lead, so they do not have the hit point pool lead. They do not have the cap lead as well, so they must absolutely conserve enough hit points so that they don't have to worry too much in a push. So far, it's looking a bit meh for Ho, and HLV all they need to do is to defend nicely, and Android Soluki would be tasked to reset B if Ho wants to go for there. So realistically, Ho is only able to push onto one side. I would call for Rush to be Rush, or maybe 771 but 771 could absolutely drop down to hold down. Hero Rise also took a hit, and Aiga's trying to go into B, but I think that would not be successful. This is exactly what HLV has planned for. So Ho, getting B will be out of option, and HLV would definitely be happy about this. Now that they are leading by more than 1,000 hit points here, Ho, they need to find a way to rotate, but they seems not to have found a way. And they are pushing onto most of the forces of HLV. Actually, Sarutsu took a lot of hits, so potentially Ho might get a big breakthrough, and this is going to be big for Ho. And it's going to be 4 vs 4. They're looking to get Sarutsu out of the way, with Minuts bouncing onto Sarutsu, only managing to track Sarutsu here, but it will be killed by ARWV. Now all HLV needs to do is to get the tanks out of the way, and Ho, this push is decisive, and it worked for them. Although I had initial doubts about this, but it seems that Ho is able to distract HLV to get HLV into a lot of fights. But Bird in this tank is getting a lot of shots from HLV. Borsalt is now dead, and Joyce Luke is still alive but will now be killed. It's now going to be 7 vs 4, and all HLV needs to do is to get no hit point pool targets out of the way. Furuchan is now dead. Rush is also quite low, down to 1 shot. Now obviously Ho is trying their best to get the guns of HLV out of the way, but also Ho has to be careful because they do not have the hit point pool lead with Minus being taken out. Rush is taken out as well. It's now 5 vs 3, and Ho has a substantial hit point pool lead, and Koei and Livni, they're running out of time to get all the tanks out of the fight. Livni needs to go in, and it's going to put a first shell into Aiga, the second shell also into Aiga, killing Aiga off, and they will be looking at Momoko the next. Ho, they still have the hit point pool lead, but they also have the oh, they don't have the cap lead now. It's now going to be 3 vs 3. And HLV, I think there is a 1 vs 1 happening here, Rise versus 771 no. But 771 no is now killed. Bird in this tank is still quite low. We're looking at Koyu, looking to get that kill shot, but it might not be the case. And it will be taken out by Livni instead. Great focus fire allocation here. ARWV is now down to 1 shot and will be putting a shell into Koyu. Koyu potentially a 1 shot to Hero Rise. And Hero Rise will really want that high roll into Koyu, but it's a bounce sadly. And Livni looking for ARWV here. Great shot to Hero Rise here. Livni looking to get a shot into Hero Rise. Great shot. And the final shot into Hero Rise, but it's a bounce sadly. But HLV has the cap lead. And all they need to do is to survive, and Koyu making sure he will not get high rolled. And it's another bounce by Hero Rise onto Koyu. This is getting close. Livni looking to get that kill shot onto Hero Rise, and it will be the case. HLV got the second win here, and that was really close. They're down to the wire. HLV almost punished for their relative lack of focus fire, to be honest with you. but Ho absolutely they lost too many hit points at the start, which condemned them a loss, I would say. We're seeing arrive. We see 5 tanks doing more than 2k arrive. Hero Rise Bird in its tank. Furuchan and Momoka Love. That push down to HLV spawn was decisive, but I have to say HLV was to blame for this because there is really no way. They were in relatively good positions. Like Sarutsu should not have taken that many hits while Ho is trying to make a push. And they pretty much fell apart there. That allowed Ho to kind of focus fire relatively easy. Allowed Ho to make a comeback. In the end, HLV regrouped and made sure they're going to be using the hit point pool advantage they have. And they got it in the end, which was really close, but I think it could. I mean, both teams have made some major mistakes here. We're going back into the second match of Winter Mine Northcar. Both teams, especially for HLV, where they're fighting for top 4, this is probably not the performance they want to do in the top, when playing against top 4, because the mistakes they have made would definitely be costly. And Ho, definitely. The decisiveness it was really good to see, and really like to see that Ho is calming the nerves a bit, so that's really good now. Now let's go back to Winter Divine Northgate. We're seeing Ho quadruple M60s. I think it's like Mouse and Kran HLV. Let's see what tanks they're going to be taking. HLV going with triple I7, double M60, Kron, and a Mouse. Let's head up high now. HLV blue team from the north spawn with Ho, red team from the south spawn. I just have grape. So Ho. Let's see about arrive here. Nifty spotted by Ho's forces. Oh, Iga tries to push up into Nifty. Nifty pulls back in time to prevent any more catastrophe happening. With A being captured first by Ho, this time it's going to be HLV that needs to make a push, and Ho getting in position to reset to push shots into HLV. We're looking at Minuts here with the M60. Both teams are holding diligently around this area. Now we're seeing Bird in the tank and Furuchan overlooking at Ko-Yu. 2 vs 1. I think they're really looking to get this push in, but they're just approaching it a bit carefully. Now Furuchan has dropped the ball a little bit. Seems Rush isn't able to push shots onto Furuchan and so on. Let's look at Rush's perspective. It's actually quite hard for him to put any shots into the M60s. So Ko-Yu have dropped some hit points. If it continues this way, Ho will have a good hit point pool advantage, and this will make it difficult for HLV to make a rotation. And we're now seeing Bird in this tank and Furuchan going in, looking to get Ko-Yu out of the way. And Furuchan looking to put a shot into Ko-Yu, and both M60s are on a drum reload, so it will take quite some time. Both Furuchan and Bird in this tank are trying to rotate one another in terms of shielding. Ko-Yu is on a drum reload. Now Minut's coming in, and both M60s have now fully reloaded, and this could descend into Pandemonium soon. HLV looking to get the M60 out of this way, but I think they might have made a bad decision here, because Ho has diverted a lot of their tanks looking at those double IS-7s, and but also say like now quite low, and Rush trying to get the M60 out of the way, but Rush could get a lot of shots by the M60s here. with Furu-chan and also Burn this time looking to get Ball Assorted out of the way, and my nuts will kill Ball Assorted, and look at the hit point pushing from Ho. This is brilliant. A Rush is going to be next time down potentially with Burn this time looking to land a Grey Shell into Rush, and now Ho with more tanks on the battlefield, and they are leading by a lot more hit points here. Rush will die, and Momoko Love could be the next focus for HLV, but Momoko Love will get into safety just in time, and Mouse in that Mouse would rush into B, and Iger will kill all 7s in one go, and that leaves 3 tanks remaining for HLV. And Sarutsu now down to 1 shot, potentially will be killed by Momoko Love. Iger is going to put a shot into Enjoy Q. It is, or is it not? A hero is bounce onto Enjoy Q, but Nifty will be dead. Enjoy Q will be killed by Momoko Love. What a win for Ho, and I think Ho has done a great job this time. Definitely better than the last match, where they pretty much baited those IS7s of HLV, and Ho sends in reinforcements to support the M6Os, and that worked out really well for them. HLV unable to make use of the numerical advantage on the auto sliding allowed Ho to pretty much shut down the IS7s. I think HLV is looking off form at the moment, and we are now seeing 2-2 for both teams, 2-all on Faust now. Hello Cassandra, and Rifty saying, huh? Will we see a 4-0 victory somewhere? And oh, we haven't seen any 4-0 victories so far. ID against EA 4-0 for ID, and how about RN versus GV, and they're still playing. So we know that EA has lost to ID 4-0, and that will further cement ID spots in the top 4 here. And let me just enable the face cam once again. Hello there. Faust. And currently, ID will be having 6 game wins, and if HLV cannot pick up a game win here, we could say H7, the top 4 could be decided here. We will find out soon. If that's the case, Faust, HLV versus Ho. Ho, double 50Bs, triple IS7s, with HLV going for 50B, triple IS7, a Kron, and double M6Os. Let's head up high and see what both teams going to do here. Ho, red team from the north spawn, and HLV blue team from the south spawn. And let's look at ARWV here. And ARWV spotted up. Rush and Lively could be spotted here, and could be. We are seeing ARWV getting a lot of spots for Ho, and ARWV probably knows what to do here, and I think Ho would definitely be foreseeing something. Momoko going into really aggressive position, getting into this container, trying to get some shooting here, but Furu-chan takes a lot of shots. But Momoko Love will get a shot there, and Heroes crosses only took a hit there, or double tap. Oh, Ho needs to prevent losing 2 hit points while crossing. That cost them a lot of hit points, and HLV are leading by more than 5,000 hit points, and that can be a lot for Ho to handle. And Ho, they need to trade a lot better. But HLV sensing that they have tripped enough hit points away from Ho, they're going to make a big push onto those IS7s. And they really need to be decisive here. Let's look at Livni here, taking out Bird in this tank. And Heroes keeping the next tank down, and Heroes now. Oh, it's a bounce. And Joyce Q is taken out by fire. Heroes is now dead. Iger is quite low. Furu-chan is a one-shot. This has to send it into Pandemonium here. Sarutsu is now dead. Iger has been ram killed. It's now 4 versus 5. Hit points still in huge favor of HLV at the moment. ARWV has arrived with full hit points. Koya pretty much out of the fight, but will that matter. I don't think so. Furu-chan now that arrived took a hit from HLV's forces, and I would have to question whether it's a good idea to have 3 IS-7s crossing and taking so many hits for Ho, and Ho simply just nothing they could do to salvage from the situation. They pretty much shot themselves in the foot, I have to say. Minut's been killed and Arrive's been killed as well. This gamble definitely didn't pay off, and it will condemn Ho to a 2-3 defeat, and HLV are really close to secure a victory here. 5 tanks doing more than 2k for HLV, very quick game, and Ho 3 tanks doing more than 2k, and I'm not sure what happened to Ho here. I don't think that was a good idea at all, and I do believe they have to change their strategy here. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry to say, but this is pretty much dropping, pretty much giving away 3 hit points for the other team, and maybe they should reduce the number of tanks crossing. And I think if we only see 1 tank crossing and get that area near the containers, and pretty much tries to bait HLV to push onto the ISM, I think that could work for Ho. But pretty much like 2 more tanks crossing, HLV were given the opportunity to chip away hit points, and they've done that brilliantly. And now it's going to be Faust with Ho going to the south spawn and HLV on the north spawn, and let's see what's going to happen here. So Ho going with double M60Os, double 50Bs, an IS-7, a Kron, and Vickers like HLV going for double 50Bs, double M60Os, double IS-7, and a Kron. Let's go. Okay, let's head up high with HLV with more hit points and Ho with fewer hit points. Ho, red team from the south spawn with HLV, blue team from the north spawn. We're going to be seeing Ho with the M60Os going into D, and sometimes looking to go into A as well. HLV looking to get that cap lead on C, and Eiger. Oh, we do see HLV attempting to reset Ho. It seems, I think they've succeeded a little bit, but either way, HLV will get a cap lead here, and Ho would need to make a rotation this time. They have arrived in the Vickers Light and tries to get some spots near A so that they can try to commit their forces onto A and try to cap that base. But HLV at the moment staying back behind C, and then Joyful Q going deep into the corner. Has to be really careful though, because HLV they do have some time supporting Solo and Joyful Q, but Joyful Q is pretty much alone there. And Ho have a lot of tanks near A, and if Enjoy Soluku gets rushed here, Ho might have the advantage. We'll never know. And Arrive pretty much going to divert himself away, pretty much going to rotate upwards, and if it's spotted, going to hold down in this slope, and to pretty much as well. And Sector 5 has been tagged, and we could see both teams looking for B potentially, or maybe for A, but now Adjusted Q has been reinforced by Rush, so this means Rush who cannot rush A, and it's actually HLV looking to get A here. Ho might be waiting here, but here Rise is trying to reset A And it's not going to be successful. Hero is not using HE shells to reset rush, which is going to allow HLV to get A, and they put some great shots into Hero Rise. I would have used the HE shell to reset A in this situation. And now the the catapults are in favor of HLV, and HLV also done some damage onto Hero Rise, which is going to give the hit point pool lead to HLV as well. Now Ho looking to make a big push near A. I think they have to be really decisive here, and Sarutsu and also Livni trying to push onto Aiga. I think this is also another good move from HLV, but which team is going to take out the tanks first? We could see Johnson being taken out first, or is it going to be Rush? We'll find out soon, but Furuchan, his push has been denied, and Aiga, it's not actually getting pushed, it's actually Livni and Sarutsu coming from behind. All Ho needs to do is to get one of the IS-7s out of the way, but they need to get a focus fire, and so far they're not really doing that. And Hero is going to put a Narsha into Rush. They really need to put shots into Rush. And Birdie, this tank is on the drum reload. Mine is almost fully reloaded. Momoko bounce onto Rush. And HLV with better hit rates. This is definitely going to HLV. Ho receives a lot of HE shells from a lot of areas. HLV really making Ho to pay for the inability to kill off Rush, and we are seeing another bounce again from Ho. Ho looks very nervous here, but Rush is finally dead, but at the cost of pretty much 3 tanks or even 5 tanks. Arrive down to one shot, will be killed by Sarutsu, and we will be seeing Furuchan going to be one shot, will be killed by HLV soon. It will be the case, and also Momoko down to one shot. And Joysoki also one-shots HLV. Is sensing victory here. Momoko is going to be dead. And Aiga is the last person standing. Well done to HLV and Ho. They weren't really good on Faust, I'm sorry to say this, but there is a lot of room for improvement. Hopefully they could improve better. I think pretty much the nerfs have got them in the last 2 matches. And Faust, I think the first match of Faust is just a bit weird when we look at what Ho was trying to do, trying to achieve. And the second match, I think first of all, Hero is not able to reset A, which is when he is able to do so with HE shells. That's the main problem, and second problem would probably the inability to kill off the double IS-7s of HLV quickly enough. Like, there were a lot of bounces onto enjoy solo kill, and at this level of at this stage here, it's high level tournaments. I mean, teams are expected to penetrate most of their shells, and I think bouncing onto enjoy solo queue for bouncing a lot of shells onto enjoy solo queue would definitely cost you the game. Even though IS-7 is a hard tank to penetrate, so I think Ho might also fancy a little bit more of training, especially shooting on the move or mobile. I know it's really difficult, and it's very difficult to do. It needs time. You need time to master the skill, but I'm sure Ho, there is a lot to take away. There are a lot of positives. I mean, the first 4 matches, we do see Ho coming up really close against HLV. Pretty much the last 2 matches, I think we could see Ho, their fatigue has come into play. HLV taking a crucial point, and they're going to still be close to top 4. There is still a chance for HLV, but I have to say Ho, some really great performances, but there is also a lot of room for improvement for them. I'm not sure what you mean by John Farm. I never heard of that person, so. And I don't watch no keys for you. Definitely no keys for you. Don't even ask for keys. So we are left with 2 more results to generate. So Feast versus E7. Let's see the results there. Let me check. It should direct me to the right external source in the Asia server, on the Asia server stream. Oh, yes, it's the right source. Good, right source. Okay, Feast has won against E7, I presume, because we are seeing them picking up a point. A 4-1. That's a huge victory for Feast here. E7 picking up their second defeat. Or they have to be really careful. They could sleepwalk into out of top 4. Although having a very strong start, to be honest with you. Although they still are leading like two game wins, but they have 3 game wins. They have to be really mindful of this. On the other hand, GV, picking up a win, I think. 4-1 against RN. I think top 4 battle. GV is coming back. Although they have a very slow start, they like playing catch up. They really like playing catch up, and also they're known for being comeback. So Berlin definitely has made some huge pep talks during the break, and now they are getting they are now on a good run. 3 game wins, but they are still a huge distance away from the top 4. RN now with only 6 game wins. They haven't won. They have only won 1 game so far. In the second stage. Although there's they could sleepwalk out of top 4, HLV is really looking to get into top 4, and I mean, who's to say GV can't do this? But would it be a bit too difficult for GV to come back here? We don't know. We're just going to see. The leaderboard now, Feast currently with 9 game wins, and because we only have 4 more games to go, and they have played HLV once, so if Feast wins against HLV here, this means Feast are admitted to the top 4, to the Blitz Asia Cup. Meanwhile, E7, they have not played against HLV yet. They've played against HLV first, and they have won against HLV 4-1 for the first time. Second time, we don't know if HLV wins 4-0. We could see HLV overcoming E7 here. So it really remains to be seen. RNID and HLV or even GB, but GB, I mean, they have to win all of their games tonight. In the second stage, pretty much. Against Ho, it will be hard because last time Ho beat GB 4-3. But they have to be mindful if they lose to Ho, they are out of top 4 entirely, top 4 contention entirely. And I think EA has pretty much fallen apart now. Now that they've lost to ID04, that means they are definitely out of top 4 contention. And Ho also lost to HLV, and they could only get more game wins than ID, or they could only hope that they will only. The best case scenario is that Ho is going to tie with the same number of game wins than ID and RN ID and RN. So Ho has not played against has not played against well, ID has played against Ho, isn't it? No, they haven't played against one another in the second stage, but ID lost to Ho lost to ID 0-4 the first time. No, I don't want I don't want my stream to be demonetized. All of the songs here that you're hearing right now are well, maybe not copyright free. Some of them I have to pay a fee for that, but most of the songs here are will not get my stream demonetized. Let's put it this way. And there are some really good songs, so it's not about whether it's work safe or not. It's just because it's to do with copyright. Just go to Spotify. I do recommend Spotify here, and Ho has won against RN once, but RN also won against Ho 4-1. So that means RN would be above Ho in terms of the number of losses. So that remains to be seen about RN ID and also Ho. Yeah, I mean, if we see like play to win something like that, so I do reckon. I think I remember. A winning team has a song that I put in my stream previously, which is a great song. Pretty much the theme. I don't know. There is an EDM song which I forgot. Also has a similar theme, which I forgot because it's not pretty much at the top of my playlist. Yes, so the next matches you'll be seeing will be EA versus E7. Now EA is officially out of the fight. Home very close to being eliminated. If they lose to GV, they're surely eliminated. And Feast against HLV, this is going to be the match which is going to pretty much see whether Feast is going to get a spot in the top 4 or not. And then we'll see ID versus RN, which is going to be another important match. Pretty much will send whichever team is going to be in the top 4. Will have a higher chance to be in the top 4. Both teams RN and ID have the same number of game wins. So anything can happen here. If ID wins, RN will be fighting for a top 4 and ID has a better chance of securing a top 4 spot. Otherwise, if HLV wins against Feast, HLV will be tied with the number of game wins as RN and ID, or ID potentially. And we will have to see about the number of game wins. I mean, if ID lost, then probably will follow ID tomorrow. If RN lost, will probably follow RN tomorrow. Or maybe if you're not into EDM, we're talking about winning songs. Leonie is a great singer that I've come across recently. Do recommend her songs. They are pretty much very upbeat and also pretty uplifting. You know. And yes, we still have around 15 minutes left to go, but I don't know, I still feel a bit of chest pain today. But we'll analyze the match, so let's look at the second win of Ho. Or maybe not, we'll go for the first match first. But let's go for the first match of the Wintermine Northwest. Like, a lot of things are happening. We will see what's going to happen here. Only hope that they will only. So the best case scenario is that
family I used to have. I feel like everything's so different now. Sitting by the fire as we'd watch the flames burn out. I miss the days I wasn't afraid. Now I always have my guard up. Hands on my face, I learned to cope with the pain. I know that people think I'm trying to get attention, but in reality I'm trying to send a message.
no.
Kids out there that are going through the same thing. And if you're one of them, I hope to help your suffering. Just know it will get better and these feelings do not stay the same. No, they don't stay the same. I don't wanna make you feel bad, but you kinda ruined my life. You hurt me and ruined my life. And I don't wanna make you feel bad, but you kinda ruined my life. You hurt me and ruined my life.
And here we go. Let's begin the analysis. Okay, let's analyze this. We still have time, do we? Don't we? Yes, we still have some time. Let's go. 3. On the other hand, HLV going for triple I7, a crown, double M60, and a mouse. Yes, unknown watcher. Yes, top 4 clans will get their own clan logos. The clan that might not have a clan logo at the moment would be own clan logo in the game would be RN. I really would like to get into top 4, and I really hope they will get the chance to get the clan logo shown. Otherwise, all other clans except Ho and EA would have their own custom clan logo. Though, we're talking about both MM and also MM Purple and Jokers without a clan logo in the game, and then ESO we're talking about Jones without clan logo, AP without clan logo, and BPS without clan logo. So there are a lot of clans without clan logo and are fighting for top 4. Veil without clan logo, Immortals without clan logo. So a lot of clans you're seeing on the ESO do not have a clan logo in the game. And let's see, with HLV going mostly to A and Ho going a bit to B and C. And seems that Rush is trying to get this. So usually, oh, thank you for the subscription there. Usually what happens here, what HLV is expecting potentially, or maybe not, is that the enemies could possibly do something similar. They would, it could go for a full-on brawl, but we aren't seeing this. So let's continue to see what's going to happen next. Area, we do see that from time to time, like previously we do see EU teams taking this area in about 2 to 3 held down tanks, looking to secure the C area, A area, and it could go into a full-on brawl. But times have changed, and HLV aren't seeing anyone near there. Perseverable though has taken a hit from Ho, with C being captured by Ho as well. Furutan took a hit, but Rush, and that's IS7. All bounces Heroize here, and Rush all bounces onto Heroize as well. But Furuchan is getting smacked a little bit. And I don't know. I think Furuchan should not have dropped that many hit points. Really should use this building, broken building, kind of side scrape with this line. Like, it's possible you can get some bounces. It looks like through chat has not angled well enough there, to be honest with you. Oh yeah, pretty much DD, yes, pretty much. GV has to win all of them. And ID or RN not to win at all. Supposedly, you should be able to make use of the building, but he's getting pro track potentially now. But maybe not. Has to be really careful not to drop unnecessary hit points. Because we are now seeing HLV with more than 1,000 hit points of advantage. And they do not have the hit point pool lead, so they do not have the hit point pool lead. They do not have the cap lead as well, so they must absolutely conserve enough hit points so that they don't have to worry too much in a push so far. So what Ho can do in this situation, they do not have the hit point pool lead, and they do not have a light tank or medium tank, so this is going to be really hard for Ho to get those spots in. Meanwhile, Rush also does not have a medium or light, so this is going to be really hard for either team if they do not have the hit point, cap point advantage. And Wintermar North Coast is a map that I would actually fancy using a medium or light to get a spot. It's quite a large map and it's kind of open, so you can really use a medium or light. That tank can be very important. So all Ho can do is to pretty much guess where HLV's tanks are. Momoko in a really aggressive position. So if Ho actually rotates backwards and HLV, if they spawn up that push, HLV can push onto Momoko Love, and what Ho needs to do is hope that they can kill a tank quickly enough and spot another tank that is also isolated. So they can't get B, obviously, because you have Enjoy solo queue that mouse looking at B, someone held down also looking at B, so B will be out of question. Usually when you have to guess what to do, if you don't have a medium or light, then first thing I would not guess that the enemy team does not have tanks to reset an MC cap. This is something that I will probably not probably rule out when I try and make a rotation. So pretty much pick a area to rotate. Momoko can be very important in the IS7, but usually if I have to gamble, just go back to your spawn. If in doubt, go back to your spawn, because as a defending team, you really don't know if there is someone very close to spawn, maybe trying to put shots in. I don't know. Just from my experience, you have a lot more positions that you could take potentially well and hide well near a spawn rather than the enemy spawn. And we are also talking about defending behind a spawn. So behind a spawn can be very important, so that you can set up the defensive line really well. So if I were Ho, pretty much I would go back to the spawn and rotate from there and see if we can take out a tank or two and try to get A. Potentially, if you can actually get A, HLV would look at A definitely. You could you could gamble on that if HLV gets distracted with that push. It's looking a bit meh for Ho, and HLV all they need to do is to defend nicely, and Enjoy Soluki would be tasked to reset B if Ho wants. The kind of the worry I'm seeing with HLV here, Rush could be well supported by Solo and Lively and potentially those tanks here, but Rush is pretty much kind of isolated. So if HLV needs to rotate to support their teammates, they will take some time. And if Ho rushes en masse, Rush can be taken out very quickly. And the next tank could be Solo has already dropped some hit points. So pretty much Ho, if they know what's going on, I think going back to A, I think the old method will actually work really well. Let's see what's going to happen next. To go for there, so realistically, Ho is only able to push onto one side. I would call for Rush to be Rush, or maybe 7010, but 7010 could absolutely drop down to hold down. Hero Rise also took a hit. And Aiga, this is why you don't want to cap B in this gap. You don't want to gamble on capturing B. And look at how many hit points Aiga has dropped here. And Aiga is trying to go into B, but I think that would not be successful. This is exactly what HLV has planned for. So Ho, getting B will be out of option, and HLV with out of question. Definitely be happy about this. Now that they are leading by more than 1,000 hit points here, Ho, they need to find a way to rotate, but it seems this is pretty much an unusual way of rotation because usually the defending team would have a lot of tanks near their spawn, kind of, or maybe a lot of tanks near an area to reset an empty spawn, and empty cap. So for Ho to actually make this rotation, they have to be very decisive with this. They will spawn a lot of tanks near the spot, near HLV spawn. But if they are committing to this push, it's pretty much now or never. Like if you hesitate HLV, those M60s can rotate backwards and support these tanks. But Momoko has to be really careful because he's actually like rushing alone. That was what we saw yesterday on the EU server with Immortals rushing alone. HLV could just land all of their focus fire onto one single tank, and those 3 tanks, which are still quite behind, will be helpless in preventing a kill right here. Especially when we're talking about potential 3 versus 4. If you can kill a tank in a numerical disadvantage, that's actually a huge plus for the defending team. Not to have found a way, and they are pushing onto most of the forces of HLV. Actually, Sarutsu took a lot of hits, so potentially Ho might get a breakthrough, and for some reason Sarutsu has dropped a lot of hit points, which he shouldn't do. So this is kind of strange. Maybe also you say Ho putting crossfire near this corridor, so I have to say HLV isn't really defending well here, and I think this is pretty much what they have worked so hard in the run-up hasn't quite worked out in the end. This is going to be big for Ho, and it's going to be 4 versus 4. They're looking to get Sarutsu out of the way with Minuts bouncing onto Sarutsu, only managing to track Sarutsu here, but also all Ho needs to do is get a focus fire in. They can ignore Enjoy Solo Kill for a moment and allow pretty much the tanks in the middle to take out Enjoy Solo Kill or a tank that is closer to there, which is this tank. And HLB trying to support Almas. Ho needs to do get isolated tanks out of the way and hit point push as well. It will be killed by ARWV. Now all HLV needs to do is to get the tanks out of the way, and Ho this push is decisive and it worked for them. Although I had initial doubts about this, but it seems they cannot afford to bounce in this situation. We are seeing a lot of bounces from Ho onto I7s. I think they need to practice on that potentially. That Ho is able to distract HLV to get HLV into a lot of fights. But Bird in this tank is getting a lot of shots from HLV. Borsalt is now dead, and Joyce Luke is still alive but will now be killed. It's now going to be 7. And I also like how Ho just put their low hit point pool targets out of the way and have the high hit point pool tanks to go in. But my nuts pretty much going in alone. So if I were Ho, Momoko should go in as well. He is actually not one shot, so I would definitely go in and not have my nuts just going in to isolate himself. ARWV can stay where he is because he's pretty much a 2-shot here, so he can't do much, and I have to pretty much go into the room set. Versus 4, and all HLV needs to do is to get no hit point pool targets out of the way. Furuchan is now dead, and Aiga needs to go into. He's also had a lot of hit points. Rush is also quite low, down to a 1-shot. Now obviously Ho is trying their best to get the guns of HLV out of the way, but also Ho has to be careful because they do not have the hit point pool lead with Minus being taken out. Rush is taken out as well. It's now 4. If I were Hero Rise, I would probably go in as well. But he has shots, so that might not be important, but that move can be very important to distract HLV, to kind of tell them to focus me instead. This is what the plan is probably. But I probably have not enough time to analyze. Pretty much in the end, HLV got their focus fire in, and also pretty much the teamwork between two tanks pretty much won HLV the game, and also those bounces also was not ideal at all from Ho, which I think Ho, that gamble worked well for them. HLV, I think that mistake with Sarutsk almost cost them the game, but in the end also we should not forget about how many hit points Ho dropped initially trying to go into B, trying to capture B. This is something that you should never ever do when you don't have the medium light to kind of spot tanks up when you need to do rotation. This is the gamble I will never ever take, and if the tank did not go to B momentarily, then I think Ho could have won this. To be honest with you, I think it could have happened in this way. I mean, maybe yeah, the tank in B could get a lot of information up, but that's quite costly for Ho. And now we're on to Navy Frontier. Now let's go back in. Feast going for a Vigorous Light, a double IS-7, an M60 VK, a 50B, and an M60 as well. HLV going for double 50Bs, potentially triple IS-7 and double M60. And enjoy looking at the mouse instead. Okay, let's see this now. Feast going with we announced the lineup already. So what to expect on Navy Frontier? Let's say pretty much depending on what you want to do. So if you want to get a cap pressure, then you might want to go for a northwestern corner because A and B are close to one another. But you might want to have map control, and C could be very good on that. And you have a lot more room to operate when you have to make a push. You don't have to worry about getting shots at a very far away location, and all you need to do is to be decisive. And I mean, you're rushing into an enclosed area, and that could descend into a lot of tight narrow fights. Oh, hello again. So Feast versus HLV. Feast, they just needed another win against HLV. They do, then they are surely qualified to the Blitz Asia Cup. So we can say they will become the first team to qualify, potentially. An Asia server. We do see like two huge standouts with Feast and E7. E7 kind of falling backwards a bit, which is not nice to hear because E7 has been exceptionally strong. In the first stage, winning all of their games, and now that they have lost 2 games already, a bit of a warning sign, but they need to pick back up. Let's see what's going to happen here. Feast, red team from the north spawn with HLV, blue team from the south spawn. Let's follow silver at the moment. Now, currently looking to get into C, looking to get this base here, but also at the same time, James going to be and capture and will capture B potentially or not. With Bulbasaur tasked to reset James, it's a miss, however, and Feast will get B potentially. Oh no, no. 771 note is here to save HLV from from having to do a rotation. Now HLV got C, which is going to be very important. Oh, some shots going into Enjoy Solo Q, and Spartan has been tracked once. Has repaired his tracks, however, and Necromancer bounces onto Enjoy Solo Q. Now Feast They have lost quite a lot of hit points with James attempting to capture B, and HLV is still leading a bit in terms of hit points, but that is not going to be that's going to be important, but not going to be decisive at the moment. A could be captured by Ball Soldier. That's going to apply even more pressure onto Feast to make a rotation and to make a push and Trapple, which I've never seen this player before. Looking to get into C, looking to get to cap on C. Well, it's going to be successful though. Trapple looking to put a shot onto Livni. And let's see about Livni. Oh, great shot from Livni onto Trapple. HLV trying to frustrate Feast into getting rotation. And Livni took a HE splash previously. Now we're seeing Feast trying their hand once again on B. Let's look at Ball Sorted in the IS7. Doesn't matter if HLV, if Feast gets B, because still the rate of cap point increase is still in favor of HLV. And now HLV with 650 cap points. Oh, they will have 10 cap points of increase. We're talking about around 20 more seconds to respawn for these. They only have 20 more seconds before they absolutely have to make a push, and they need to triple away hit points of HLV. I don't think they have enough time though. That's going to be around 10 seconds left. They must absolutely make a move soon. And I mean, HLV leading by more than 1,000 hit points. We're seeing Feast with Juicy and Sugar Booger trying to get into this area to hold down, but also took some hits while doing so. Feast is running out of ideas now. With C being captured by Trap potentially, this is going to slow down HLV's cap point increase movement briefly, but still, Feast would need to make a rotation. They still do not have the cap point advantage, and now we're seeing Spartan and also Necromancer trying to go up here. Now we could see 771 getting shot from the backside, or maybe not. We might see Enjoy Solid get in focus instead, but Jules seems being taken out. In the AMX50B, HLV has fought back and looking to get James out of the way, and it will be the case. 771 kills off James, and then Enjoy Solid kill is going to be quite low, but looking at HLV, they killed off Trapper as well. They still have 7 tanks alive. Well done to HLV, and they really gave no chance for Feast to make a rotation. I think Feast, this is a poorly communicated rotation, and we are seeing Feast dropping quite a lot of hit points on some tanks. Like HLV has worked their crossfire really well, really denying Feast and working a way to rotate HLV. Yeah, it looks like Feast really has run out of ideas here, and they didn't look like they are able to take a victory out of HLV. Now it's going to be a 1-0 for HLV here. This is going to be an important win for HLV so far. We have forgotten to change the sides, the scoreboard, and this should be changed in the next one, hopefully. So far, HLV is leading with 1-0. Okay, Feast going with triple IS7s, a double M6Os, a 50B, and a Vickers Light. HLV on the other hand, we're going for double 50Bs, double IS7, double M6Os, and a mouse. And we're going back to Naval Frontier and see what's going to happen here. Feast versus HLV. We're going in. let's have high and see what's gonna happen here. Feast red team from the south side with HLV blue team from the north side. Here we could see Juicy. In 50B, this is not the E server, this is the Asia server. And F Silver in that bush looking to get spots up. Oh, Koyu spotted. 771 spotted. And we can see Feast getting really aggressive with those IS7s looking to get hold of the AB area. But sorted by in some sort of trouble. Spartan looking to get a shot onto 771. And it will be the case, I think. 771 pretty much puts his gun up, kind of surrendering in the situation, but in safety, not taking a hit. But James has taken a big hit already, so IS7 is really struggling to work with the gun depression, and they might actually go for ball sorting now. Triple Necromancer and James really trying to seal the deal, but HLV has made no delay to rotate from the other side, and we could see a big push coming in from HLV. Necromancer is in deep trouble, and HLV with a lot more hit points. If it continues this way, HLV, oh Lively, oh my goodness me, what's going on? We're seeing Lively blocking 771 a little bit. Necromancer is finally killed, and Trapple could be killed soon. And this push from Feast obviously didn't quite work out in the end, and Trapple will be trapped by HLV's forces, and we can see Lively looking to land that kill shot. Oh, it's a bounce, however, and 771 gets in the way of Sarutsu, and Trapple's now dead. Borsword is now dead. It's now going to be a 5 versus 6. James is going to be next time down for HLV. The HLV really responding well to Feast and push onto HLV. I think HLV got it all worked out. It's a bait set up by HLV, and HLV responded to it beautifully. And Feast, I think they didn't obtain enough information to solicit that push. That push was pretty well, they can be decisive, but if they are decisive, they would just get eviscerated. So I think Feast should not have made a push in the first place, and F Silver is quite low. Juicy is also quite low. 7010. It's gonna be quite low too. And Feast, great shot into Sarutsu. But the headpoints are actually close. Headpoints are actually close, despite HLV making a great response. There is still a chance. F Silver kills from Abyss. That can actually change the entire rhythm of this match. With 7 now being a 2-shot here, we can't definitely say HLV has won this at the moment. I mean, all F Silver needs to work his magic. Sugar Muga full health, pretty much full health here. Sarutsu also quite low. Juicy just needed to clip Sarutsu, but both have bounced. Sarutsu needs to land that shot onto Juicy. It is the case, but Juicy needs to kill Sarutsu's Joyful coming. But Sugar and Muga looking to get 771 out of the way. Double tap into Sugar and Muga, and 771 now down to a 1-shot. Sarutsu, not a 1-shot however, and Joyful kill. Really need to make use of the mouse to get Feast's tanks out of the way. But F Silver is killed. That's an important kill by 771 here. I think that pretty much seals the deal for HLV here. And Joyful killing Juicy, and that leaves Sugar and Mugu the last person standing. Pretty much now. And I think Joyful will get the ram into Sugar and Mugu, and will be killed by Joyful. HLV at one point, Feast could have had it. But I think HLV killing off F Silver has proven to be very important. Now Feast 4 times doing more than 2k, and HLV 4 times doing more than 2k. We are now on to Alpenstadt, and HLV leading 2-0 now. We aren't expecting this. What will happen now? Sure, you can go on a carry, says Mr. President. But now HLV they really needed that important point. If they can get a point from Feast has not qualified yet. Then will not have qualified by then, and we will have to go. We'll have to see about the next match. I have to see the next game until Feast can be guaranteed a spot in the Blitz Asia Cup. But we've seen multiple times teams can come back from a 2-0 loss, even a 3-0 loss like yesterday with Endgame, down 0-3 to BPS and winning 4 the run. Pretty much kind of, I mean, the loss against APA and down 0-3 against BPS with their main nemesis, and it came back well. Same could happen to Feast here. HLV playing catch up, to be honest, playing catch up here. Triple M60Os, double IS7 VK, and a Voltor to Feast. Triple M60Os, double IS7 VK, and a Vickers Light. Let's go in and see what both these going to do. On to Alpenstadt. Alpenstadt, I always say about, I always rave about the North spawn being the spawn that is pretty much like the more advantageous spawn, because you can get the cap lead easier than the south spawn, because both ANC are closer to the north spawn than the south. We will be seeing Sarutsu in that FV422 group, looking to get spots up, looking to get into this bush. They're kind of going defensive, I would say. Trapple going to be started, and Sarutsu can land a shell onto Trapple. But we know that 422, if you use the hash shell, it does not have a lot of penetration, so that's to be expected. Trapple will not take any hits yet. And this is sometimes why I use the heat shell for the 422, because in randoms you just cannot rely on your teammates to spot for you and flag from behind. Now, I digress. With Necromancer going quite aggressive in this area, looking to get into a good spot to spot HLV's forces up, but already took a few hits here. HLV once again leading in terms of hit points, and they are defending well. I mean, a lot of the attention's around A area. Spartan's going to be quite close to B. Hello, Trihead, Pete, and we're now seeing Feast dropping even more hit points. But HLV, they lost Lively already. The focus fire going into Lively really well, so Necromancer is pretty much the red herring. Is actually Lively costing 2,000 hit points for HLV now. Feast has a substantial hit point pool. They cannot give away, they cannot throw away this lead, and HLV trying their best to chip away hit points of Feast. But so far, HLV are trying to defend as much as they could, but they're gradually losing the map control here. Feast getting even more aggressive. Trapple looking to get an advanced position. Let's go back to Necromancer here. Hit points are close once again, but HLV, they are refusing to give up in this tight match. Juicy in this area, he looking to get from a bit out of the way, and you'll also see Trapple and also James looking to flirt with ACAP, but James not looking for ACAP. James actually looking to get under the bridge and look to get a good high-up position and maybe take out from Abyss. We don't know what's going to happen here from Abyss. It's trying to pull back, but take double tap from Feast. Feast is now getting a good solid hit point pool lead. I think HLV is going to struggle now. And Sparta in the middle side. HLV is really letting up their map control. Feast now getting a lot of good hold down positions, and they also now have the high ground advantage with James in this area. And what we can say about this, pretty much, Juicy also now getting a bit more aggressive now. Feast is pressing really hard. Continuing this pressing would mean HLV will continue to lose their map control. Sparta trying to get B. It's going to be unsuccessful at the moment. And Sarutsu teaming with Sims will want to know. But Borsos is now killed, so the second tank down for HLV. Koyu could be killed soon. Sparta is going to struggle to stay alive. And Koyu down to a one shot now, and could be killed by Trapple, maybe Suga Mugu. We'll find out soon. Trapple will kill Koyu. It is going to be the case. It is. And now, still more than 2,000 hit points advantage. Yes, there are rewards. Just follow the pinned message and you will know what to do. From Abyss is now down to one shot. Could be killed by Feast, but he's still led alive here. Juicy almost fully reloaded, and James will be landing a shell onto From Abyss, and it will be the case now. Let's look at Juicy in the M60. Fully reloaded, will be getting Silver Sword. No, great first shell, and second shell will be enough to kill Silver Sword. No, that will leave 5 versus 2 here. 3 one-shots for Feast, but against 2 HLV tanks, it might not be enough for HLV to make a comeback. So Rus is now getting absolutely focused by Feast here. Shigemuga on a drum reload, so Sarutsu will definitely want to kill Shigemuga out of the way, and Trapple as well. And Joycelyn keeps chasing around with Juicy, trying to buy as much time as he could, so that Juicy is still not going to be able to kill and Joycelyn kill, and maybe there is still a chance for HLV. You never know. Sarutsu in the FE422 looking for Juicy, or maybe not. Trapple coming in. Sarutsu just in time, getting out of dodge from Trapple, but Juicy has shots onto the 422. Now it's going to be a 1 versus 3. This is going to be intense. And Joycelyn, can he do it? It's pretty much a one-shot, so this is pretty much a mission impossible for Joycelyn right here. And Juicy is still really healthy, and it's probably going to be in the line of fire, but Joycelyn Q is still unspotted. And Joycelyn Q is spotted now. Trapple needs to land a shell to kill off Joycelyn Q. And a great shell from Joycelyn Q onto Trapple, but would not be enough to kill off Trapple. Trapple will seal the win for Feast this time, bringing it to a 1-2 for Feast. Well done to Feast, and HLV was so close once again, but they were giving up map control, which is really not their fault. Pretty much Feast got a good tempo in this approach. It approached HLV slowly until they had the map control, and they continued to pressure HLV. They were very patient, and HLV continued to lose their map control and didn't really make a breakthrough on the other side. So that meant HLV only 3 tanks doing more than 2k, and Feast 5 tanks doing more than 2k. We're now back onto Alpenstadt. Now 1-2 for Feast and HLV. Bifrost is now on the subbench potentially, with Shigemuga potentially coming in, or maybe not. Bifrost might go back. Shigemuga will go into the lineup if Bifrost is unable to do so. Oh, we're seeing only 5 tanks for Feast at the moment. We don't want to see a 5 and a 7 here. HLV going with a double Air 50Bs, double IS7, an M60, a mouse, and a VK90.01p, with Feast going with double IS7, double M60, a VK90.01p, potentially silver in the biggest light. Okay, we're now seeing triple M60s, double IS7. Bifrost is a captain, so could switch himself back in, but seems he has refused to do so, and now we'll be seeing Bifrost not playing this time. 4th match in the second game, round 11. HLV still leading at the moment. We're seeing Feast going to commit into A, so similar to what HLV did last game. But Feast will be taking Figures Light instead to boost their chances in getting the spots in. So we're still going to spot it. It seems HLV might be going to the C side, so they will refuse. So they're going to get aggressive near A, which is a good idea from Feast. Lively has to be really careful not to drop unnecessary hit points. Took a hit, but it's not going to be the end of the world yet. Hit points still neck and neck. With James also taking a hit, and Joyce on the kill as well. So it's still really close to call, but Feast. Oh dear. We could see a big push coming in from Feast. I think that could work really well for Feast. Lively's trying to run away. And that could be Lively could be taken out here by Feast. Feast continues to push forward, and HLV would need to do what they did last time and worked really well for them in Name Frontier and Joyce Q, taking a lot of hits while crossing. Well done to Feast. And HLV has lost more than 3,000 hit points already. And now HLV is trying to make a response here, but they're struggling a little bit. They don't want to push. Feast has crossfire into this push from HLV. The HLV can't do what they're good at and on Name Frontier. And thanks for subscribing as well. And HLV are bleeding a lot here. And nothing much HLV could do. And Feast, once again, what they did last time is just get aggressive and press the line hard. Press the line forward. And now GZ coming in from B, looking to get either Enjoy Solo Kill off the way or 7 Symbol or Lively. But we are seeing Juicy going to put a shot into Enjoy Solo Kill. It is going to be the case. And Juicy looking to land a kill shot onto Enjoy Solo Kill. And it's now going to be 7 for the 6 for Feast right now. Feast looking super strong at the moment. And HLV really falling apart here. And 7 sort of know the focus for Feast will be taken out by Necromancer soon. Necromancer in position to get 710 out of the way. 710 gets back into relative safety. Maybe not, because Josie and Trapple came in to get the tank out of the way. Spartan is being killed, however. And Samutsu will be using the full clip of 50B. But that would not help a lot, because now Feast trying to shut down both Koyu and Bogasorte. It's a great focus fire from Feast, and HLV really falling apart now. Imploded pretty much. And Bogasorte now down to a one-shot. F-Super almost fully reloaded, and we're putting a great shot to Bogasorte. Necromancer trying to clip Bogasorte, but bounced 2 shots already. So Necromancer turning attention to Koyu, but oh my goodness me, Necromancer just bounced the entire clip onto those IS-7s, and shame on that shame Necromancer on this. Necromancer realized that he bounced a couple of times onto the IS-7s already, and he's definitely not happy about this. And here we go. Feast, 5 tanks to more than 2k. I feel very sorry for Necromancer, but it doesn't matter at this point. Necromancer bounces will not cost Feast a game. HLV, 1 tank doing more than 2k, but Livni, I think that's a common position for a defending team near from the south side, but I think attempting to run away might be a terrible idea, because Feast pretty much spoiled that, and HLV wanted to respond to that. Pretty much Feast all they need to do is to get into good positions to stop HLV from supporting Livni, and as you can see, Livni got heavily punished, and HLV, their reinforcements also got heavily punished as well. So Feast pretty much outplayed HLV right here. And I'm not sure if that was a mistake from HLV's behalf, but I can safely say that Feast completely reading into what HLV is trying to do, and now Feast without Bifrost, they're actually doing really well. So now on to New Bay. Both teams now tied 2-2. So we're expecting Feast and HLV. We might see a lot of action around the bridge area. This is what we are seeing a lot recently, and it's also quite a heavy oriented map, so that's a different thing. So we could see a lot of held down tanks near the bridge area, but if we are seeing a lot of heavily armored tanks, solo tanks, we could see a plane near the southwestern corner or the BC area. On the other hand, let's see GB. Do we have a reset already? They are still playing against Ho, so it hasn't ended 4-0 yet. We are now back on Feast versus HLV. Double IS7 for Feast. We could see the Mouse and the E100 to fight in the middle. Most of the tanks to go to the A side. Or maybe not, because Feast is going to commit their forces over to the BC side. While HLV also is doing something similar. We could see a fight going on near B. This has always been a brawly map, so we could see the caps not being the most important thing here. Juicy stopping momentarily, but looking at Feast already moving very quickly over to the southwestern corner, with Necromancer only taking a hit here. Spartan trying to side through with this ledge. Necromancer says HLV knows what Feast is trying to do, but I think this is kind of common from both teams to try to defend this area. I mean, to try to look at this area. But even though but that being said, Feast has to drop a lot of hit points. But Necromancer dropped some more hit points. But Salty is a bit in trouble. Hit points still nagging that, however. But James will try to go into C potentially. Bulbasaur is there to reset C, but James has more hit points than Bulbasaur. I would actually try to go for that if I were James, but Feast would like to play safe, so we can't fault that. I mean, there is no problem playing safe, and Feast also has the cap lead, so there is really no good reason for Feast to just go straight into C. But it seems we might see Sarutsu overcommitting here, and we're seeing 2 tanks. And Feast looking to get 3 tanks into shutting down Sarutsu. They want Sarutsu out of the fight as soon as possible, but they don't want to commit too many tanks, so F-Silver is diverting his tank away from Sarutsu, with Sugar Mugi and Juicy looking to get Sarutsu out of the way as soon as they can. And HLV is trying to make a push onto Feast right now. It's all about focus bar. It's all about whichever team can kill tanks more quickly. Sarutsu is now dead, and we can see HLV looking to get Spartan out of the way. Now down to 1 Bulbasaur. Just needed to land that shell onto Spartan, and it will be the case. Necromancer sneaking near this building will look to get Bulbasaur out of this way as well, but Bulbasaur does not go forward first. James is also dead. It's now 5 versus 6. Hitpoint still in huge favor of Feast at the moment. From Abyss is now down. Trapple, I think, bounces someone. If Juicy looking to get Bulbasaur out of the way, it will be the case. Sevenson will know, looking to get that ram onto Juicy, but it's not going to be successful. And Sevenson will know, I think, bounce onto Juicy, with Necromancer now being dead. It's now 4 versus 4. Hitpoint's still quite close, but we could see Feast grouping up near these 2 tanks, and that can be very important. 3 versus 2, 2 versus 1, and with Lively now dead, Juicy also dead. 3 versus 3 now. If Koyu is able to take out Sugar and Mugen, that is going to be a huge bonus. F-Super bounces onto Koyu now. We see Enjoy Q and Seven coming in to support Koyu. And this is going to be very exciting, very intense. Trapple, it's all about working together. Trapple, great shot to Koyu. And we're seeing Koyu and also Enjoy Solo Q going to get F-Silver out of the way. And Koyu landed a shell to F-Silver. Now F-Silver down to 1 shot, but Koyu will be killed by F-Silver. F-Silver's still alive, but no, it's going to be killed. It's 2 versus 2 now. And we're seeing Sugar and Mugen also quite low. All Seven needs to do is to land a big shell. Seven now down to 1 shot. Sugar and Mugen can't afford to bounce the last shell, and it will not be the case, because Seven now turning his turret over to Trapple, and that man Sugar Mugen has a shot into the E100, and that leaves Enjoy Solo Q, the last person standing, at 2 versus 1. Surely this is going to Feast unless Enjoy Solo Q is able to take a tank out and bring it to a 1 versus 1. Well, I think this is highly unlikely. With C being captured as well, Feast just need to stay safe and alive. Enjoy Solo Q looking to get a shot onto Trapple. It will be the case. Trapple cannot afford to bounce onto Enjoy Solo Q here. It will not be a bounce, and Enjoy Solo Q down to 2 shots. Sugar and Mugu bounces onto Enjoy Solo Q. And the second shot did not bounce. The last shell from Sugar and Mugu will kill Enjoy Solo Q, and this is going to be 3-2 for Feast now. Feast on Feast now on the match point. You need to watch my stream for on the portal, not on YouTube, for a certain amount of time in order to get the hardcore avatar. And 5 tags to 1 2k for Feast, HLV 4 tags to 1 2k for it's pretty much boils down to the focused fire and the teamwork, and Feast seems to be better in this respawn. I mean, HLV is not far off. I mean, the hit points are quite close in the end, and Feast, I mean, has done slightly better when working together. We do see the isolating tanks of HLV slightly better. It's not far off. Both teams playing really well. It was a very close game to call, but Feast got the advantage in the end, and all Feast needs to do is to get a win, and they will secure a victory, a spot in the professionals in the top 4. And RN has seemingly won a match here, 4-1 to ID. Oh, ID might be in trouble now. Now that ID has lost to RN 1-4. On the other hand, let's see about Ho versus GV, and they're still playing at the moment EA versus E7. I mean, if EA wins, it's going to be a consolation prize for EA, but they don't have any chance at all now. They lost to E7 0-4, pretty much wiping any chances of them securing a spot in the top 4, and EA pretty much fell apart in this situation. And that being said, now EA at the bottom of the table with only 1 game win, and E7 without win against EA now 9 game wins. And if HLV loses here, we can say also E7 will be through to the top 4 to the Blitz Asia Cup. That remains 2 more clans to go, which will be the 3rd and 4th. Will it be ID, will it be HLV, or will it be RN? RN securing and then pulls a victory against ID. And tomorrow we'll be following ID versus HLV, hopefully. And now Feast going in to see. Oops. Juicy going past. Looking to get shots into Koyu. We once again are seeing a big fight happening around the southwestern corner. And Juicy still on the adrenaline, still reloading. And oh, this is going to descend into anarchy very soon. Feast really trying to get a shells onto HLV, and Sarusu taking some hits, but also taking some hits. Feast pushing the line up really hard, but Trap was still crawling into this way. Very slowly, HLV could really make use of the opportunity to make a push onto Feast, but Sarusu takes a big hit from Spartan, and already Feast is trading a much better than HLV here, and HLV now stacked up near the southeast western corner, looking to get a bait push onto Feast. They need Amsterdam out of the way, but the focus fire from HLV is not really ideal. Feast is doing better with the focus fire. James is now dead, and 771 showing the backside to Feast, and now down to a 1-shot. Sugar Muga needs to land a shell onto 771, and that it is the case. F7 now down, and Feast is really showing what they are capable of. They are doing a lot better with the focus fire. Both Sarutsu and Livni both dead. And it's now 5 versus 4 with Spartan now very, very low. Sugar Muga bounces onto Bobo Sorte and will be able to kill Bobo Sorte. Spartan now dead. That turret shooting just over Trapple, almost landed onto Trapple, and it could have been disastrous. From Abyss now down to 2 shots, and from Abyss is having some troubles turning his tank. I'm not sure if his turret's been taken out, but that looks a bit weird for a few seconds here. Necromancer down to a 1-shot, and Andrew is still reloading. Will kill off Necromancer. Now it's 3 versus 2, 3 versus 1, still 2 full health tanks. And Juicy, what are you doing? Juicy! This is a stunt! Juicy is doing a stunt here, getting stuck here, and actually letting shells onto Koyu, and unfortunately, Sugar Muga is trying Trying to land onto the ISO, but quite unsuccessful. Juicy doing yoga and putting shots into the enemies, and Juicy, the yoga guy, doing the second most damage here for Feast. Feast 4-2 against HLV. This will send both Feast and E7 through to the Blitz Asia Cup. So huge congratulations to both teams here. However, they still need to play well in the last 3 games, because we know Wargaming can penalize clans for not playing seriously and also not taking it too seriously. They need to still take it seriously. I mean, for both teams, for them, great opportunity for them to test out strats and also try to rotate different players. I mean, also give the fringe players some chances of playing and experiencing the top level. But for both Feast and E7, they all need to do is to pretty much use the remaining 2 days for training and testing out strats, testing out different calls, testing out new calls. They have done enough. They are through. All they need to do, relax, enjoy, and hopefully try a lot of different things. HLV was so close, but I think this game showed a huge problem with HLV's focus fire. I think they were going for different tanks, and the hippo pushing was fine, but the focus fire was pretty much the difference here. Feast doing a much better focus fire and pincering HLV's forces better, and HLV not really taking multiple lanes, and that caused HLV's forces to be surrounded, and they found it difficult to break through Feast setup. And well done to Feast, and commiserations to HLV. What a good match it was for both teams. Now Feast 4-2 against HLV. What we are left with is Ho versus GV. And Ho lost to GV 3-4. So this is another close one from Ho, and I think Ho has done themselves proud. They only still have 2 game wins. Sadly, they are out of top 4 contention because because Ho has not won against GV, and they are 4 game wins away from top 4. So this is actually going to get really close. Now it's going to be between RN, ID, HLV, and GV. RN a bit more comfortable in securing a spot in the top 4. ID looking a bit. Okay, ID really looking a bit unsafe here. And there we go. We're seeing ID against HLV tomorrow, and no, 2 days after. This is going to decide a lot into which clan will get into top 4 in the end. I mean, I would want to see ID because ID beat E7 4-0 previously, so yeah, it will be interesting to see ID not in top 4 despite having a huge result against E7. That being said, E7 can take a deep breath now that they are through, because they have 9 game wins, and mathematically speaking, they are through. So it remains to be seen when it's going to be between RNI, the HLV, or GV. All of these clans still have a chance to secure a spot in the top 4, and I think the remaining matches could become really close and exciting to watch. And I also have to pick certain matches to see, to be honest with you. Tomorrow, GV will be up against Feast and HLV. They have to at least win one of them, because if they lose one of them, that would pretty much condemn GV, pretty much condemned GV out of top 4. They will be really hard games, especially against HLV. HLV fighting for the top 4, but Feast are already through. So I mean, Feast would not feel the pressure to perform well now that they are through. And yeah, well done to both teams. Actually, would not have a lot of time to analyze. I have to go away pretty quickly after this match. And there we go. Oh, what a finale it was. Well, let me just mark. I need to stream tomorrow. And yes, I will end the stream pretty much on the clock because I have to go. I have to go and take a lesson very quickly afterwards. So, for now, thank you all for watching, and I will play one match, and after that match, I will go away. Okay.
Let's get this show on the road.
Yes, I agree with you, Pete. Better focus fire usually decides things, and as you can see, the final match, Feast vs XLV, Feast with much better focus fire got them the win in the end. And sends Feast directly to top 4. To the Blitz Asia Cup. So remains to be seen whether it will be RN, GB, ID, or HLV. The enemies are not there, which is really interesting. Hello. Bloody Mary. Oh, how dare you. Ooh, it's a bounce. It's a miss, I mean. Oh wait, we're winning by caps. How on earth are we doing that? Oh, where is the enemy team? Why are they not resetting us? We almost won with caps. How are we doing this? Oh my gosh. Oh, we won. we won by caps. What is the enemy team doing? This is... Oh my gosh, this is just disappointing from the enemy team. What are you doing? I mean, those guys are so close to the cap, but they can't reset the cap for some odd reasons, and they're just giving us the win, pretty much. They're just giving us the win. I can get this engine. I can upgrade this engine up, so I can play. I will play some M-Serios then. Hopefully, we're gonna win. Thank you for subscribing, Ali. Thank you for this.
Let's get this show on the road.
That boost helped a little bit, but I want to take this spot, so please don't use my spots. Oh no, T29. Well, that scares me for a little bit, because you could have shot by a lot. Sees what the enemy's trying to do. I don't know what the enemy's trying to do. Just push. I think our left side could fall apart soon. I agree. Go for the T. Go for this tank. Bloody tank. We don't have a lot of time. Yes, yeah, we lost 2 tanks already. This is really not looking good. They aren't able to take do some damage, isn't it? Oh dear. Oh, aim. Thought that could be a bounce, but it's not a bounce. Am I able to push shots from this area now? Well, this is getting tough. Well, we killed 2 tanks, so that's good. We actually killed 1 tank in a numerical disadvantage, so that's actually not the end of the world for us. Thought they would have done a lot worse. See, it's not the case. It seems it's still possible. Ooh, it's a bounce. Let's see if I can get to Tiger 1 from this angle. No. No. This is going to be really tough now. I'm like really slow. Type 62 has gone the other way. Let's see if I can flank behind. Oh, good. A kill. That's good. I'm still so slow. Come on. And this is the problem of... Oh, J Panther. No. No shots into that. I'm still full health. She's still crawling my way there. Yeah, I can really shed some hit points here.
Enemy armor is damaged.
Oh dear. No,
Even scratch them.
it's a loss.
Vehicle destroyed.
It didn't really work out in the end. It's fine. was too slow. The tank's too slow, but being fully upgraded. So I've done what I could. Wargaming needs to buff stock tanks. They're really terribly bad. And this is it for me, actually. Well, I have to go now. Well, I can't stay here for longer. So unfortunately, for those of you who could only like get rewards, who missed a few minutes, for some reason, sorry to break your party. I have to end here because I have to go now. Sorry about this, but thank you all for watching, and I will see you on the